kind of good house security. They're never gonna allow anything to happen because it'll if there's someone on their house, frankly. And they're always sitting on the front porch, so I know they're keeping tabs on it, which is good. I would rather them. I'm friendly with them, but it's just. Oh, it's 6:30. I apologize. Are we expecting Earl? Okay, so we can go with 3, right? Perfect. All right, I will call the September Board of Zoning Appeals meeting to order at 6:30. If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. All right, everybody's got their mics on.
Testing. Yep.
Alex, you can hear us on the mic? Excellent. Perfect. And it looks like we've got we do have a Zoom participant on. Andy, if you could give us a roll call, please.
Dan Justice.
Here.
Rick Jacobs.
Here.
Nathan Sturdevant.
Here. All right. I want to welcome everybody to the September BZA meeting. I appreciate you all coming out tonight. And with that, we will move for approval of last month's meeting minutes. Have there been has everyone had a chance to review the meeting minutes?
Yep.
All right. Any changes, modifications? All right. Since we've got none, I'll look for a motion for approval.
I move to approve the meeting from last month's meetings.
Second.
All right. Do we need to clarify? It's the
July 7/27/23 meeting.
since we did not have one last month. Yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
good point.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Not opposed. Motion carries. Next, we will move on to there is no old business tonight, so we'll move to new business. We have one case before us tonight, case number variance 09/2023, AutoZone, West Broadway Street. It is consideration before us for a petition by Prism Engineering on behalf of AutoZone seeking approval of development standard variances on setbacks and driveway width pertaining to a proposed AutoZone store on West Broadway Street. It's just east of the Three Rivers Credit Union. And this came before the Plan Commission last month and is now before us tonight. So with that, Adam, if you could give us the town presentation, please.
All right. Good evening. For the record, I'm Adam Zaklakowski, the Planning and Building Director for the town. All right. The case before you tonight, as you mentioned, involves AutoZone. Its proposed location is on West Broadway Street, also known as US 36, State Route 67, and it's just east of the Three Rivers Credit Union. Petitioner on the project is Jason Hall of Prism Engineering on behalf of AutoZone Development, LLC. The zoning on this property is Commercial Community, CC, and it's currently undeveloped property. And simply put, the request is that AutoZone desires to build a new store on the property, and they are seeking deviations from the zoning ordinance on 2 issues. The first one relates to setbacks. They're looking for you to allow smaller setbacks on the north, south, and west sides of the building. And then secondly, pertaining to driveway width maximum, they're seeking a wider driveway width at the north entrance than is allowed by the ordinance. In terms of the history on this project, the town council approved a rezone of the property from commercial neighborhood, or CN, to CC, community commercial, on September 5th, and the Plan Commission approved a concept site plan, of course, subject to successful rezone of the property, which occurred, and then, of course, subject to any sort of variances that would be needed from the BZA. So if we take a look at the most recently available aerial photo, you can see the undeveloped property. It is near a creek. And off to the west, you can see the Three Rivers Credit Union. And then over to the southwest is a medical office building. And beyond that is the Mercy Road Church. Continuing to move forward, we can see a slightly different angle of it, more of an oblique aerial photo. You can certainly refer back to these as necessary. If we take a look at the zoning map, of course, this property is now a darker shade of red, commercial community, as I mentioned. Over to the north is commercial neighborhood. Over to the west is commercial neighborhood. And then to the south is a grandfather designation, business 3. So definitely in a commercial part of town. And here is the concept site plan. Very similar to what the Plan Commission approved. Really, the only difference has to do with a little bit on the setbacks that they needed to change for the rear going to the west, and I'll explain that momentarily. All right, so specifically on the first variance relating to those setbacks, what they're looking for is 3 variations. Number 1, the north setback, they're looking for 36 feet instead of 50 feet as required for a front setback. And that north setback is considered a front setback, even though it doesn't front onto US 36, it does front onto public right-of-way from when that used to be the old Garden Street. So it's technically a front setback. To the south, they're looking for 26 feet, again, instead of 50, as required for a front setback. And then lastly, for the west setback, they're looking for 10 feet instead of 15 as required for a side. Their justification is that the site is challenged in that it has a triangular shape and it also contains a floodplain. They are attempting to keep the building outside of the floodplain, but still maintain a typical floor plan for AutoZone. In terms of any remonstrance to this variance, all the public hearing notice requirements have been met, and that included a sign posting, newspaper publication in the Greenfield Reporter, as well as a mailing, and there is no known remonstrance to this variance. And as we do with all of the different variance requests, we'll give you a quick rundown of the 3 items in state law that you're asked to consider as part of your decision. So the first one deals with general welfare, that the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. My recommendation is that, yes, that's been met, that allowing relief from this standard would not impact those items. The second test relates to adjacent property, that the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Yes, that's been met. Relief would not impact those properties on this setback issue. And then lastly, practical difficulty, that the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in a practical difficulty in the use of the property. I'd say that's been met. As mentioned, the property is an odd shape and also has a floodplain on it. So for that particular set of variances, I'd recommend approval on that. And then moving on to the second variance that's sought is, again, they're seeking an allowance for a pertaining to driveway width. They're looking for a 32-foot wide driveway, more or less, at the north entrance of the site at the right-of-way line in excess of the 28 feet maximum allowed by the zoning ordinance. And the petitioner's justification for this is that delivery trucks navigating through the site and utilizing the north entrance need a slightly wider entrance. As with variance number 1, we haven't heard of any remonstrance. Same thing, all the public hearing notice requirements have been met. And if we go through those 3 decision points or criteria to consider, again, the first one on general welfare, I think that's been met. A variance regarding driveway width would not impact those items. Secondly, for adjacent property, my recommendation would be yes, that's been met. No adjacent properties would be adversely impacted because of a slight variation of a commercial driveway width. And then lastly, practical difficulty, I'd say yes, that's been met. Simply put, delivery trucks need to navigate through the site. So with that, my recommendation would be to approve. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to address those. Representative from Prism Engineering, Nick West, the engineer on the project, is here to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Adam. Any questions for Adam before we move on to the petitioner? I've got one quick question. Can you?
Sure.
Yes. Can you zoom in? It looks like on the site plan we were given, the driveway dimension looks like 28 feet. Is that just updated?
No, so that is correct. That's correct. So the per the ordinance, the driveway width is measured at the right-of-way line.
Okay.
So in this case, where they took the dimension is further in on the private property. So if you can see the arrow, I don't know if you can see it or not, but the right-of-way line is about over here, so it is a little bit wider.
Okay. Oh, that's the right-of-way line. So it's really, that's including the radius, which is the reason that they need the width there. I mean,
Correct.
They're not putting 3 full travel lanes through there. It's
No.
just the radius to get the trucks in and out.
That's correct.
Okay.
So the extra feet, the extra 4 feet is actually going to be on private property. Or to go out to the street.
Yeah, so basically where the private property hits the public property, that's where you measure a width of a given driveway. And so in this case, it's about 32 feet wide. And what the ordinance prescribes is at that point, it's not supposed to be any wider than 28 feet.
All right. Any other questions for Adam? All right. We do have time for the petitioner. If you'd like to come up, be happy to hear from you. If you could come to the microphone, say and spell your name and how you represent the case, please.
Ready.
Hi, my name is Nick West. That's NICKWEST. I'm with Prism Engineering. We're representing AutoZone on this project. I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys have for me, but other than that, not sure I have much to add to Adam's presentation. Driveway widths and setbacks, the variances we're asking for. Again, I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys have about either of those things.
Any questions?
Are the setbacks just for the 3 setbacks here, the north, south, and west? Is that just for the building? Is that for the?
Yes, for the building,
Just for the building?
correct.
Can you elaborate? There was a mention that the setback changed from the plan commission meeting. Can you elaborate on what change did occur?
Sure. Previously, a previous concept plan that you saw, the building had been unupdated per the bump outs. There's 1 foot bump outs that we provided to kind of make the architectural elements of the building kind of stand out more.
Okay.
And so we had to shift the building in order to get it out of the floodplain.
Okay.
Per those changes, and in order to do that, we had to shift about 5 feet. So we went from a 15-foot setback on that side to 10 feet.
Okay. So that was the result of some architectural improvements. The 1 foot bump outs and everything, so.
That's correct. And to just keep it out of the floodplain.
Right. Big point. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
All right, thanks so much.
Does not look like we've got any members of the public here tonight, although I saw there may have been someone on the line. Has that person dropped off? Just want to make sure that if you would like to speak.
He's the property owner.
Oh, property owner. Okay, perfect. In that case, I will move to government officials. If you'd like to say anything on the case. Okay. All right. I suppose that means we don't need a petitioner rebuttal at this time, so we can move right along. Any other questions, clarifications for Adam or the petitioner? All right, in that case, I would look for a motion for one or both variances.
We do both of them at the same time, or
Yeah, might as well.
I think we can.
make it Rick?
Okay. I move that we approve Prism Engineering on behalf of AutoZone parcel 30-2-16-200. And where is the number for that? There's usually not a number here. Oh, yeah. And case number case number BAR 09-2023. And then also a secondary, we approve the secondary motion, which is variance. Is it on this? Is the same one?
Same case.
Same case. Is that right?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Do we have a second?
I second.
All right, all those in favor of approving the variances for the setback and the driveway width? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unopposed. All right, motion carries. Both variances have been approved.
Step back. Okay.
Thank you very much for your time tonight. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Dick.
All right, if you guys can fill that out. I suppose we can do that at the end. Sorry, I'm pinch hitting. All right, I suppose we have time for any board comments. Hearing none, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
All right,
Second.
second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, meeting adjourned at 6:48. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thanks, Alex.
Good night.